What is going on, everybody? Jumbo Thick here. We are back with the Expedition of the Damned, our Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition campaign. I, of course, your GM, your DM for the night, Jumbo Thick, joined by the full cast and crew of the expedition. Today is going to be an interesting one. We didn't have Luther with us for last session, but we got him back today. So our Pyromancer is with us just in time for a wrap up and the segue into the next leg of the adventure, possibly. So let's do brief introductions. Let's start off with Pierce Galactic.
Hey everybody, it's again Happy New Year, Pierce Galactic, everybody's favorite handgunner. It's been quite a year last year. Let me see if we can make it even better this one.
Indeed, indeed. Let's slide on down to Doobie 209.
What is going on? I play Henry Bertold, a knight who might be 17 years old by now, depending on how much time has passed.
Yeah, probably.
5'10", white hair, blue eyes, a first knight, to get into the particulars, and is currently naked. And
Currently
attractive.
naked and attractive. Let's slide on over to Nate.
Hey everybody, Nate here. I'll be playing Lucien Levesque, human duelist, now duel master, who is looking forward to getting some trappings this session.
Oh, okay. Let's have something in mind. Let's slide on over to Dan Decker, the Double D.
Hey everybody, yeah, it's me, Dan Decker. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching the show, and I'll be playing Null Thrower this evening, who's currently in a pretty bad state. Is quite is quite wounded, and so hopefully we can manage to get some of that taken care of this evening.
Indeed.
Nog is a 10.5-foot man-eater ogre. With the lovely gray eyes, a shock of black hair, lovely fancy hat that he wears, this tiny little night gobbo cap that he stole. And when he's in full form, he's got his gut plate, he's got his his iron arm, wrist thing, and his scimitar. But right now, he's rough. But most importantly, he has Roy.
He's got Roy the Rubber.
Roy does him right. That's right. That's right.
And last but not least, Jumbo Smooth.
Hello everyone, I am Jumbo Smooth. I play Luther Steinhauer. He is a pyromancer, probably at the age of 18 at this point. He's a little bit taller. He's 6'1". I don't mention that too often. Taller than probably some of the other party members. Mainly Henry. He comes from a noble background. From a proper city. He's thinking about becoming a master pyromancer. I enjoyed the show last session. It was very exciting. A lot of suspense and epic moments. It felt like the Rohirrim was riding, and the elves that were shooting their arrows and such. It was very exciting. I enjoyed it.
Exciting indeed.
Is a master pyromancer like a burgermeister?
I mean, perhaps. I mean, they might be able to cook a fine burger.
There you go.
Indeed.
Lucien just made me remember. I too leveled up while we were outside the city this last time, so I'm hoping that I will give my trappings perhaps a rank. So
Indeed.
We'll see.
We will all be doing that momentarily. Before we head off into endeavors, we open on the crew. Everyone outside the walls of the Sheik, currently gathered upon the field of battle, the remnants of battle, I should say, as you all have successfully lived through the Blitz attack against the White Skulls that were sieging the Sheik, where, through sound tactics, some headhunting, and one might say embracing the gaze of the gods, Doc Head Thumper lies in literal pieces, with his boys scattered to the winds as your army, or what remains of it, is currently giving chase, running down the green-skinned filth. And we had left off as Lucien and Luther in particular had come up to find young Henry, who was picking up pieces, scraps of his armor. He's covered from head to toe in blood and was going to find a spare mount to currently leave it. But as all of you have gathered and have begun to make an account of like your men, casualties and whatnot, looking for spoils of battle, is there anything in particular any of you want to address before we move on to the collections, as I'm going to call it?
I'm going to praise my men and promise them all a round of grog when we get back to the camp.
Sure.
Luther, I believe at the end of the last session, he came running up and was addressing everyone. Does he, when he sees the naked Henry, are there any tales? Luther's a smart man. Some would say a very smart man. And
sure.
Does he notice anything that would give any kind of clues to what had transpired?
Let's find out. Do you have lore chaos, Luther?
I don't have lore chaos.
Well, you can just make a straight intelligence roll, I guess.
Okay. That's one level of success.
Okay, with just a success, unless you're going to reroll.
No.
Okay, with just a success, it looks like Henry was in definitely this climactic battle between him and the rival warlord was a bloody, grisly affair, and from the looks of it, it looks like Henry probably survived by the skin of his teeth. Okay. However, it is unusual that if you were to, like, Henry's not like walking with a limp or anything. Like, he doesn't appear to be
look
wounded when he probably should be.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's pretty much all you're going to glean out of that situation.
Is he covered in orc blood or his blood?
It appears to be orc blood.
Okay. But he doesn't look to have any visible wounds, even though he's completely naked.
Yeah, you can't. Well, he's at least not favoring any. If you want to watch him bathe and see if he's wounded, sure.
I mean, there's a time for everything.
He is attractive.
He is attractive. Yeah. He's just gonna observe, and Henry. Where are your clothes? You seem to have lost them.
It appears I lost them in the fight.
Yes.
Do I look physically bigger since I gained a +10?
No, you do not.
Okay.
Physically. Well, actually, how tall were you originally?
I was 5'10".
You are 6'1" now.
Yes.
Okay,
You seem to have grown slightly. Don't believe, as I take my staff and kind of poke at him, don't see any visible wounds. Are you sure you're all right? You don't need any healing, perhaps?
I feel fine.
Yes.
I feel better than when this whole event started.
Fascinating. Well, I assume I defeated my opponent easily, and without trouble.
He says that you're like your Ifrit or whatever is like beat to hell. It's like one of its arms barely hanging on.
my golem.
Your golem, yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Ignis. I apologize. I will have you mended shortly. Let us. I guess all the orcs are running away at this point, or
yeah, they've broken.
Okay.
Entirely. Even the giants that really didn't take any casualties just broke off and collapsed and ran. At this point, and this was just this section of the orc army, but after the break and the fall of the big boss, the rest of the sieging orcs are breaking and fleeing.
Okay.
Luther, how did you get down here so fast? How much time has passed?
How much time has passed, GM?
Since the fight, or
This is the start of the battle, I guess.
yeah,
Hours or
since the beginning of the battle, maybe an hour. I would say it was a fairly quick skirmish. I'd say it was quick. Probably for the best, because they would have gotten reinforcements had you not been so quick.
Okay. How I believe, Henry. Seems like you've all fared pretty well. Let's go back and report to Nazaro. Perhaps the rest of the company.
Did you see the rest of the knights by chance? Commander.
They're still around here, right? Oh, sorry. I don't believe we have. I know I didn't.
Lucian was with us, right? Lucian also at Crest of the Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah,
Lucian, you didn't by chance see them either.
I've not seen them. Should we search for them, or should we regroup and decide what to do later?
I think immediately we should probably gather any dead that we have. Can't just leave them out here.
All right.
Proper burial.
As you begin to give out orders for doling out what's going to happen towards the end here, Henry, would you like to take any trophies before you leave?
I would.
You need a skin cape, bro.
I'm assuming the orc has been torn to shreds.
There are pieces of him laying everywhere, yes.
But if the head was capable of being taken as a nice prize,
The head is intact.
I would take that amongst whatever of my armor is remaining.
Yeah, you pick up the head. It is probably a solid 40 or 50 pounds. This orc was gigantic. But you pick it up rather easily and hoist it over to the spare mount that one of your men has brought over to you.
Well, gather up our dead and make our way back into the city walls.
Would anybody else like to take a trophy of some kind?
Do the orcs ornament themselves at all, or is it mainly just
These
tatters?
these primitive, they're kind of dressed. I don't want to say they're very primitively dressed. They don't really wear armor or anything like that. Most of their weapons are bone clubs and things of that sort. They wear tattered skins. Now they do have kind of bone jewelry that they wear, like necklaces and whatnot.
Did the Boar Boys, when they smashed into my unit before they were destroyed, did they have a banner?
Okay for the actual Boar Boys?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. We'll say that one of them does have a very rough, almost leathery skinned banner. Yes.
All right. Well, Wolfram's Warriors will happily pick up that banner.
Wolfram's Warriors will take the White Skull's banner from the Boar Boys. Okay, no problem.
We'll drag it to the jerk for a while first, then we'll lift it up.
Sure.
The
Understand.
ogres are
Glory.
just eating whatever they want.
Yeah, Nog, are you picking up orc pieces for dessert?
Oh yeah, I'm chowing down, man. That's the spoils
Make
of
a
war
mushroom
for
salad.
an ogre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoils of war for an ogre.
Rory gets down. He says, "Master Nog, let's see if you could grab these two right here. I think I could put together a good green marrow stew for you, boss."
Oh, that sounds right. Nice, Rory. Pack up what he needs. Put it in my bag.
Okay. Collect some orc parts.
Orc bits. You know.
Meat is on the menu, boys. Exactly. Nah, good. Love it.
They're all getting to eat today.
How about them? They're fresh.
Indeed.
What about the legs? They don't need the legs, do they?
Yeah, they don't need those legs. As you all gather your spoils of victory and begin to head back towards the city itself, you are greeted by the gates opening well before your arrival. There is a standing ovation by the defenders of Lashik, clapping the general that saw you out. General Saeed Radi gives you a formal bow, formal congratulations. He approaches Henry. My friend, you, that was magnificent. You are almost like a prodigy of war.
Was a devastating battle. Wasn't all just me.
Dude,
My companions held their own as well.
You crushed these savages like they were nothing. You drove them out into the sands.
As well. Orcs will only scatter for a little bit, and they will come back when they have a strong enough leader.
Oh, this is you do not give yourself enough credit, my friend. I tell you, I have seen many an orc war in my time. This is the fastest ever been broken.
You should also thank the defenders of the city, not just us.
You are too much indeed. I've been told there's been summons already. You are to meet Nizaro, I think is his name. You are to meet him at the palace.
Yes.
There's to be a formal gathering. You should probably get cleaned up, but there's going to be a celebration.
If you have a runner, you can let him know we will be on our way. We get cleaned up at our base.
Understood.
We will be there, though. Be aware, we will be there.
Understood. As he clasps another guy on the shoulder as he kind of walks away. There are cheers of the denizens of the Sheik as you walk past, as you guys are moving in your tight groups. Henry, the normal guard that were under your command, the riders that were given to you kind of go back to their own previous engagements that they were in charge of before they were given to your command. Likewise with any other troops that may or may not have filed in for the rest of you outside of expedition resources. You make your way back to the Hoff estate, where you were easily able to get hosed down, not really hosed down, but essentially getting buckets of water smashed over yourselves, cleaned up as best you could, perhaps some new clothes for Henry. It takes a little bit for Nagdi cleaned Rory. It does a lot of they have a method, they've got a method for
we've got a
cleaning
system
Nog.
worked out,
Yes, I don't want to say it's like if you've seen someone try to clean an elephant, but it would be similar. Small man, big creature, lots of brushes, and yeah. Anyways, everyone gets cleaned up, and Nazaro is there as well. He's wearing a much more finely put together Chilean attire that you've seen, something you would see a court noble almost. It looks a little out of date stylishly, but it looks decent enough. Do the rest of you have noble clothing of some kind, or are we just kind of wearing our normal stuff?
I have a nice uniform.
Sure.
I don't know if that would count. Yeah,
that counts.
Henry's clothes, the sleeves are a little too short.
They are now.
The legs are a little too short.
High water pants there.
Yep, he's flooding a little bit. He's flattened. I love it.
Got the sleeves kind of busting up here, like bursting
I
out.
gotta roll him up now.
Love it. I'm assuming Lucien actually probably has nice sets of clothes just from his former station. Nog has what he thinks are nice clothes, which is good enough for the man-eater.
Got me fancy hat.
Exactly, indeed. I'm assuming Luther is just going to wear his robes, because that's all he wears. So yes. But all of you are cleaned up, gather your things, and with Nazaro kind of like herding you all together, there are the only other members of the expedition that you see present are going to be Magister Aldebrand and Magister Wise. And of course, and technically he's not part of the expedition, but Lord Hoff has also been invited as well. The gentleman whose estate you've been staying at. But Mr. Srena is not present. Obviously, the Knight Commander, Dieter Helwig, is not present either. And that is your current state of affairs as you arrive at the palace. There is a fair number of individuals gathered already in the large kind of room that you'll remember has tons of like pieces of history, like artwork and valuables behind cases. If we remember, the Sultan of Lashik is also known as the Antiquarian. He's a collector of sorts, of all strange and fine things. But as you move your way through the kind of like shelving area, you make your way to the central foyer where the Sultan is upon his throne, with his harem guard, much more tightly packed around him than they were before. A little on edge after the attempted assassination, not too long ago, that you all did thwart. And Nazaro steps up once the Sultan kind of like motions you guys forward. My Sultan, we humbly accept your request for this audience. And he kind of like takes a kneel. The Sultan then kind of like nods, motioning for him to stand. Yes, the expedition, you have done beyond what was expected of you. Not only did you perform your task adequately, but you, I am told, almost single-handedly broke the wall itself. The siege shattered. You destroyed the Great Horn, freeing us of this creature that has been assaulting our trade routes for generations. You have gone above and beyond, and you will be justly rewarded for it. Nazaro kind of like nods his head. The Sultan says, your expedition will be funded in any way it needs. I will be supporting you with a full caravan, as promised. And I will even give you some of my own personal retinue as extra protection for the long journey. Let us know if you need anything else. If it is within my abilities, I will see it done.
It's very gracious of you, Sultan. I wish you better fortune in the future.
The fortunes are already turning great, my friend. I appreciate you, indeed. I do not remember your name, I'm sorry, but you are a most great individual. I would now like to perform the ceremony. He claps his hands. Just Limshi! And the harem guard begin to come out of some like different ones begin to come out of some side rooms. Each of them with a very large carafe in their possession. the kind of like vases that whatever this stuff is contained in appears to resemble the head of a dragon, kind of like with its mouth open, and whatever it's in is like going to get poured out of it. They come out and they approach each of you. It takes 2 of these rather sturdy women to hold this vase. It's quite large. They approach each of you in turn, offering you to partake in what is referred to as the blood of the dragon.
Are they going in a row? Or are they waiting until they're in front of all of us? Or can I
Going
reach
in a
out and
row.
grab my cup already?
There is
Do we
no
have- do we have
cup.
cups,
You have to
or
drink
we're-
from you. They will be pouring the vase into your mouth, Conan style.
Perfect. Fraternity,
So,
fraternity
yes.
hazing style. There we go.
He says, the Sultan says, as they approach, he says, "This is one of my greatest gifts I have ever received from the Far East. Blood of the dragon, they call it. This will incite your vigor, make you 10 times the men you are." As he has a big smile on his face.
Nothing to read into there.
Wolfram, you are approached first.
Set it almost there.
Oh, I'll say, let me help you, ladies, as I get down on my knees and
Oh,
hold my mouth, head up, and open my
Of
mouth,
course he does.
waiting for it to be poured in.
It just they begin to pour it in. You forget these women are also veiled, so it's hard to read their expressions. But they kind of like, and they're, I mean, very, very chiseled arms here. They kind of like tilt this carafe down now. So it begins to pour into Wolfram's mouth. It splashes
I feel
all over your
stirring
face.
inside, deep down.
It is impossibly warm, Wolfram. At first, you think your face is burning. Then it just goes numb. Completely, entirely numb. And you're just like... And then you feel a stirring deep inside of you.
Plums.
And you feel beyond invigorated in many ways. And you suddenly have the need to relieve yourself.
You gotta go to the bathroom. You gotta go.
No,
I wouldn't say
shitting in
that
front
way.
of the Sultan.
It's more of a desire to... Yes.
I think he's talking about a tug.
Yes, indeed.
Bye. Yeah.
Hugging what?
Indeed. What indeed?
Got to tug that gun, son.
Wolfram is suddenly sweating a little bit,
Misfires.
getting a little flush, getting a little tipsy. They approach Henry
Eat
at this
red.
point. You're next in line, Henry.
No. I would probably have to like drop down as well because now I'm 6'1".
Of course. You take a knee, Henry. The liquid likewise sloshes across you, Henry. Similar thing happens to you as it does with Wolfram. However, Henry,
Being drugged.
you do not feel any what's the word? You do not feel the inner warmth. You just feel your heart rate quicken. But that's about it. Not much else.
That's because I'm not a sick man like Wolfram.
Perverted.
Hey,
approach
I'm
you.
just using the gifts the gods gave me.
Lucien, do you partake?
Dirty man.
I will also take a sip.
Yes. It's more than a sip as they begin to pour it into your mouth. As it kind of sloshes across your face, and similar to Wolfram, Lucien, you feel a deep burning fire of passion lit within your body, and you're like you're ready to party.
All right.
Nog. The vase is brought in front of you, and before they give it to you, they say, the Sultan says, perhaps we visit all of these smaller individuals before we give it to the big men.
Well, all right.
Yeah. And they kind of like move past you to Luther.
What's exquisite craftsmanship. I admire the vase.
Yes.
May I and I would like to touch it. I gesture towards
Touch it?
Yes.
You reach out and touch the vase. Okay,
Well,
sure.
I gesture like if I could,
Yes,
know,
of course.
if permitted.
The Sultan just kind of like nods his head, yes.
I would like to touch said
Here
a vase.
Here it goes.
And I would like to see if the vase has been poisoned or trapped in any way.
It has not been poisoned
with
or
warning.
trapped.
All right. In addition, I would like to detect to see if it's some sort of magical artifact.
It is not.
Okay. All right. Well, it is a beautiful piece of art. Do I know where it's from?
He mentioned the Far East.
Hmm.
That's all he said.
Okay. Well, I will say partake as well. I guess.
If you partake, it sloshes around your mouth. You are unaffected, similar to how Henry was not affected.
Does it taste good?
It does taste. It tastes good. It has a very strange spice to it. I will say it. Luther, as you taste it, you feel almost like a what you would consider excitement. It's almost as if whatever this liquid is, it's alcoholic somewhat, but you can almost feel subtle hints of like as if the wind of Akshi has been subtly laced into this fluid. Perhaps something that would rouse passion.
Ah, yes, delicious, Your Grace.
For one sufficed in this, it does not much of anything.
Yes,
For
yes.
those less
Tastes
initiated. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and of course, last but not least, the carafe is just given to Nog at this point, who, with just his fingers like this, kind of like, oh, it's just kind of like tilts the whole thing back. It's gone within moments. Nog,
Passionless.
you do feel a stirring. However, it is not a passionate stirring. It is more of just you feel more relaxed.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like,
Old dog's ready for just a sit and chill.
Yep. It lasts for about 10 minutes, Nog, and then you're back to normal. And then you're good to go. But as soon as the kind of like offering of the cup is over, a grand party spanning the length and width of Lashik is put on by the Sultan, where every single place that is still intact that is capable of serving alcohol is told to do so at the Sultan's expense. It is free booze, food, and women for all.
If given an opportunity, I would love to chat up the Sultan just a smidge.
The Sultan? You're gonna just you? Just you? I'm talking to the Sultan.
Yeah, I would love to talk to the Sultan.
Okay. The Sultan's a very busy man. He's got to make his rounds.
Of course, I wouldn't want to take away his time, his valuable time. I know he's a busy man. Your Grace, I thank you so much for your hospitality in your fair city. It saddens me that we are leaving so soon, but I just had a few concerns, Your Grace.
He's currently he's sitting on his little throne. There are about 4 or 5 of his harem guard feeding him grapes. He has been indulging himself in the liquid quite a bit by now at this point, and he's kind of halfway listening to you, but not really. Yes. You are a wizard man. Yes. Continue.
Yes. I not want to bore you with details of the defense of your city, your fair and grand city. But the just it just bothers me that such a magnificent person as yourself would have servants so unqualified to protect your city. Of course, I speak of the cult of the Jinn. I don't want to besmirch them, but they didn't do a whole lot in the defense. Your general said as much as well, and he was embarrassed, quite frankly, of their effort. Have you heard of the College of Fire, Your Grace? We could perhaps, if there were some sort of trading agreement, we could perhaps set up some sort of, college here, perhaps a school of some sort, to protect your fair city. As you've seen, I am a capable wizard myself, and I have studied for many years at the Lower Fire. Just something to think about, Your Grace. A man as noble and proud as you needs the best and only the best.
So are you offering to be my protector?
Not me personally, Your Grace. Unfortunately, I have tasks I must accomplish for my kingdom and my emperor. But we do have interests in this country, perhaps.
Yes, indeed. We've experienced this many a time. Not too long ago, you crusade. You came through, you kill everyone, then you leave.
Yeah, a misunderstanding, Your Grace. They surely didn't meet you in person. I understand your magnificence.
Do not get me wrong. I am not upset by this. I mean, I would not be here now if it happened a different way. But I mean, if you are offering to be part of my personal retinue, I will surely take you up on this.
Not myself, Your Grace, and I would be honored to. Perhaps at a later date, but I was just hoping that perhaps we could start some negotiations, perhaps, with some of my college and yourself.
Is this going to be a permanent establishment?
Negotiations can we can negotiate on the time frame of this this bargain we strike between our college and your highness.
This seems quite bold of you, my friend.
Of course, and I do apologize for my boldness. Us fire wizards are known for our brash nature.
I love it. Yeah, I will say, I am pretty sure that the head priest of the cult of Jinn would not be too happy about this predicament. Yes,
I know, and
he has a bit of a smirk on his face as he says so.
He might be, and as I kind of intuit that he doesn't like the priest as much as he used to, perhaps.
Perhaps we could have a conversation. Yes, I will definitely look into this, but
I just ask for your consideration.
Yes,
Chris.
yes.
No need to commit.
Before, yes, indeed. You strike me as a very great man, a trustworthy man, one might say.
Oh, thank you, Your Grace.
I have a bit of a problem I'd like you to take care of.
Oh. And what would that be, Your Grace?
I am getting on in years, as you can see.
Your
and
Grace.
I am not capable of servicing my guard like I should normally do. Snaps his fingers, and the woman that was feeding him grapes promptly comes over, stands beside you, Luther. Would you please escort our friend Luther? Yes?
Yes, Your Grace. Thank you.
To a private chamber for his agreement.
Oh. Very well. I did not know we would come to terms so quickly. My friends, yes. I'm going to work out a negotiation.
As Luther is led away by a very tall, muscled woman.
May I ask your name?
She just kind of...
Just chatting,
Just kind of giggles on your way there.
Yes.
And what happened will happen, Luther.
Oh my. I'm very
Unless
attractive.
You are very attractive. Luther has been at this party. Where do the rest of you end up? The whole city is your oyster. Wolfram, where do you end up tonight?
Oh man, that's an easy question. Simple answer. The closest place where there is women of the evening. Some might say a brothel.
Women of
Some
the
might say that are just some grateful women that I'm one of the heroes who have saved the city. I did take a super potion here, so I'm ready to get
You
judged,
are.
Okay.
You're ready.
Yeah.
You feel
Plus it's,
impassioned.
I love to use my gun. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly. I will say, like, the closest, if you're going to be picking up some women, not necessarily of the knightly persuasion, the Emerald Oasis is the closest place as far as like a tavern/bar is concerned. But if you're looking for something a little more intimate, like what you're saying, pretty much the only place, the best place, is going to be the Coiled Cobra, which you guys have been to before.
All right.
It is outside.
How much silver I have to make sure I can afford to go there.
It's outside of the upper. Well, if you remember, pretty much most things are on the house tonight. Majority of them. So you're going to be taken care of.
I'm going to go over to Lucian and grab his arm, kind of put my arm around him and say, "Let us go. Let us get our true reward right now, my friend."
Is Lucian going with him?
I'll go along.
Okay, Wolfram and Lucian have paired up. They end up at the Cobra. We'll see where that takes them. Henry, where do you end up this night?
Henry would be holding a drink in his hand that he doesn't drink, making himself look busy as he just kind of meanders through the crowd.
Okay. And after a few hours, where do you end up going back to the expedition? Like where do you what do you do?
Yeah, I would end up going back to our.
You kind of just like
place.
Eventually sulk away and end up going
disappear.
back to your normal quarters. Got it. Nog! Does Nog stay out hitting it on the town? Can't hear you, Nog. You're muted.
Yes. No, as one could, he would do for sure.
Okay.
Especially if it's on the house. Make sure Rory's getting a good trade too.
I will say Rory is excited at the prospect of what was mentioned by yours truly, Nog, as apparently there's a place where ogres cook for each other down on the docks, and he wants to be a part of it, Nog.
Okay.
And so
he wants to show off.
At some point, Nog, you end up going down to the docks, meeting with the decently size amount of ogres that spend their time here. Most of them mercenaries, and you end up, for the most part, having a great time, a great night. Then we end up with the rest of you. So before we pick up with what else is going to happen. All right. Let's see here. Let's start with Lucien. Lucien, during your time at the Coiled Cobra, you had mentioned previously about wanting to talk to someone there before. Do you want to try to take that opportunity to do so?
Yes.
Okay. So during this festive party and whatnot, Wolfram gets pulled aside at some point, and you're kind of left by yourself. And the lady, the mistress of the house, locks eyes with you. You've met with her before. Nasicia. And as she sees you, she nods her head and kind of motions towards a private room. You go with her, Lucien. Within, she kind of lounges in a chair next to a rather large and very expensive-looking bed. There is a mirror somehow attached to the ceiling above it. She looks at you, Lucien. So, I can tell you have questions for me? What is it you'd like to know, my friend?
I believe I received word from you in written form.
Perhaps. What is it that you seek, exactly?
I assume you are not entirely uninformed. The Skaven. They plague me. They plague our party. They plague this city.
Yes, the rats have been a problem in the past, but a known quantity, one might say. It is come to my attention that there are not many left in this city as of late. It has come to my attention that perhaps you had something to do with this.
We dealt some heavy losses for sure. We still cannot shake them entirely. It seems that they have left their mark indelibly on one Magister from the School of Fire Magic. My companion Luther's mentor. She seems almost entirely weakened to the point of complete impotence. It is shocking to see.
It is unusual indeed. It's strange. Usually the rat men are not as subtle, much more straightforward in their brutality and their cunning. Was she harmed by some weapon of some sort?
We do not know.
Yeah.
We assume she was tortured, yes, but
Tortured, you say?
I suppose torture has different effects on different people. I assume she was of a stronger constitution than most, but you never know. People put on fronts that sometimes are more fragile than they appear. But what concerns me even more, perhaps, is the fact that they continue to follow us, to plant seeds of discord amongst us. We still do not know how they broke into our compounds. We had assumed that there were magical protections. There have been hints that we should distrust certain people within our ranks. I don't know. I feel manipulated. I don't know whom to trust.
Oh, my sweet child, calm down. She stands. Her eyes have a strange glow in the dark, candlelit room. She walks towards you. Kind of runs a finger around your shoulders as she walks around you. You say she was tortured. Why, oh why would a rat man torture and not eat? Strange indeed. You bring me interesting information, Lucien. Excuse me, Monsieur Levesque, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And what reward would you ask for this information? What do you want from me? What do you desire? What do you need?
Information, if possible.
Information or strength? Protection, even? I could give you both.
information.
Hmm.
Strength is one thing. An open fight is its own kind of encumbrance, but it is simple. We face down a greenskin army. It is one thing to attack an opponent head-on, whom you know, whom you can see in the open. It is another thing to suspect people whom you formerly relied on. If I have information, I can act on it. But I do not like this operating with men I do not know if I can trust. Constantly wondering if I'm about to be double-crossed, backstabbed.
Very well. I like men like you. You are a tough one to crack, I bet. Well, since you're so generous, perhaps I should show you a little for my brave hero. Perhaps I know something. Perhaps I may have heard about a few dealings with your expedition in some alleyways where some bodies were left. Perhaps I know of a man that received a large amount of coin from nowhere. Where did it come from? No one knows. Perhaps you should look into that individual if you're looking for sources of grief. Does that help you?
Are you speaking of an informant, or are you speaking of a man close to me, whom I already suspect?
I'm speaking of a man of, one might say, lower bearing, that walks around with a large gun, that likes to wave it around and let everyone know who's boss. Waves it around my establishment quite often. It's hard to say if he knows what he's doing or if he is just a pawn in some grand game.
It seems we are all pawns.
Speaking of pawns, did you really think you could come in here and you wouldn't have to pay the tithe?
There are prices that I came prepared to pay.
Oh, my price is one you should be agreeable to.
Name it.
And you are ravaged, Lucian, right then and there. It is brutal. It is savage. And you will definitely be sore in the morning. All right.
All right then.
All right then. So, while Lucien is having his whatever this is, let's visit Nog. Nog, you've been spending most of the night currently having a hell of a time. In particular, you have been eating and drinking and eating and drinking and eating and drinking and arm wrestling and getting into a fist fight and eating and drinking and just the party keeps on going for the Nog and the rest of the man-eaters down here.
Right.
And by the time it's maybe early in the morning, you're not sure, Nog. Most of the ogres are lying unconscious around you. You're like one of the last men standing, Nog. Perhaps it's the pain that you've suffered through with all of the severe pain in your back from your previous injuries.
I get knocked down, but I get up again.
And as you're thinking that, Rory lies unconscious on the
Oh,
table
bless Rory.
on like a little silver plate, like someone was going to eat him, but then you
Yeah, no,
you,
not
you
gonna
punched
let
him in the
anyone
face and
eat
stopped him
Yeah.
from doing it.
No, he's not. He's not food. Rory's friend's not food.
But he's just laying there, sleeping, and you
Little
feel
precious little.
like a twinge in your back, Nog. And as it hurts, you feel it. And then you feel an intense pain that you have never felt before. And ripping from your back, from the wound, is a long, slendered, pink arm that wraps around your shoulder and clasps on to like your throat.
What the
As you
hell?
begin to, a second arm rips out of your back, and you feel a tongue lashing around the back of your head.
What the hell is
As you
happening?
begin to struggle with whatever is happening to you, you hear a voice. The time is soon.
Oh no! What the hell?
And then you wake up, Nog,
Oh,
in your chair, which roughly explodes under your shifting weight as you begin to like thrash around.
oh.
You look around. You feel like a slimy residue across the back of your head.
Oh, man.
You feel like there's bruising around your neck. Everyone around you is unconscious. You kind of
Is
look around.
Rory on the table? Is he?
Rory's still on the table, sleeping.
Oh. Could have been a dream. Could have not have been a dream.
I'm not exactly sure what happened, Nog.
I don't know what happened. Except for taking the drink. I don't know.
As you contemplate all of those things, let's slide on down to Henry. Henry, you return to the Hoff estate, to the compound. And when you do, you are surprised. Because moving into the estate itself is a full, what would you call that? A full, not unit. Damn it. Contingent? No, I don't fucking know.
Detachment.
Detachment, there we go. A full detachment of knights on horseback, covered in blood. And you recognize the armor, that of the expedition. In particular, you see the tall, almost like muted, shining visage of Commander Dieter Helwig trotting into the courtyard of the estate. Commander dismounts his horse and walks towards you, Henry. Takes off his helm. Well, well, well. I hear that I have you to thank for the breaking of the greenskin.
Yes, we led a charge out of the city.
You did more than just lead a charge, boy. Take credit for your good work. I've half the mind to nominate you as my second.
Be an honor, but it wasn't just me. It was also the bastards, the wizard, the ogre. They all deserve praise as well. Nominations.
So modest, Henry. So very modest indeed. You see the heretic's pyre across his back, the glint of it glowing slightly in the light. The runes flashing and flaring. Henry, you look a little different. One might say a little changed.
Yes, well, I guess I'm a late bloomer.
Aren't we all, my friend? Well, we plan on cleaning up. Are you off to bed already? Have a drink
Yes.
with us. Stay for a while.
Don't mind if I do. Were you slaying the retreating orcs? Is that why you're covered in blood?
Yes, indeed. We hunted down a good number of them. Really put them to the torch, you might say.
That's good. I have quite the story I need to tell you.
Now is not the time for stories. Now is the time for drink, young man.
Of course.
Come. Otto, get a seat for the boy. A seat is laid out, and these guys said, he says they were going to get cleaned up, but they never do. They just kind of walk around in their bloodied armor, taking drinks, eating food. Are you partaking, Henry, or are you going back to bed?
Henry would partake, and ever like maybe like 5 minutes, and then at the right opportunity, he would get up inconspicuously and go to his room.
As you begin to leave the presence of the remainder of the Night's Panther, you just can't shake this strange feeling, Henry. Like your teeth are just clenched. Like you can feel blood welling up in your mouth, and you're not sure why. But as you leave the presence of the Knights, suddenly you feel yourself loosen. You feel yourself begin to lax. And when you make it to your cot, you go into a deep, deep sleep. All right, that is going to bring me to the Wolfram, who has a crazy night at not only the Coiled Cobra, but then just around the city at this point. He's an everyman. He's going around doing things.
You'd like a pub crawl?
Yes, we might call it that. You know, Wolfram's going crazy. His men, the other handgunners that survived are kind of like really egging you on. You give in to the pressure because, I mean, that's you're going to. Let's be honest. And as you go on this grand tour of Lashik, just all four corners, you eventually end up close to the estate. You're assuming you're probably at the estate. It's hard to tell at this point. You've drank so much. But as your night is probably coming to a close, either due to complete intoxication or because you'll finally just end up asleep somewhere. As you're kind of laughing, the man you're with says that he needs to take a piss, and he kind of walks off. And a cloaked figure approaches you, Wolfram. Yes, Wolfman. You big hero, yes?
That's me.
Yes, indeed, yes. So, you do good work. Perhaps we have more.
I am the best. I can always work.
Indeed.
What do you need?
You take this. And he hands a furred, clawed hand. Has outstretched looks like some kind of dagger with strange, like, runes or glyphs along its edge. Hands out wide. You take this. You stab, slay Redfur. Yes?
I'll grab the dagger and I'll kind of look at it. I assume I'm heavily inebriated.
You are,
So,
Wolfram.
oh yeah, man. Your hands are so ugly. God. Look at it and I'll...
You kill Redfur. Yes?
I will kill. I see something I see with red fur. Yes. I'll put it in my... kind of right above my other dagger.
Pull my wizard thing. Breeder thing. You kill. Yes?
Am I comprehending him? Do I understand he's talking about? Okay. Well, you see, I mean, Luther, he's not that bad. That's his mistress of some sort. I don't know if I
kill, slay Redfur. We kill, slay you.
You got a deal. All right. I do much better
Hands
work
clasped
alive. So
together.
yes.
Yes. You do this, Wolfman. You earn great reward. Yes.
I like great rewards.
The red, beady eyes glowing underneath this tattered hood, Wolfram. How's this going to end, Wolfram?
Why do you wear a cloak in such warm weather? And I'm gonna reach out to just fucking pull the hood down. Because again, I'm not really thinking here.
You move quick. So quick that the creature's a little taken off guard. You pull the hood down. The face is revealed to be that of a brown-furred Skaven, rat man, with beady red eyes. It kind of like hisses at you as its hood comes down.
Okay, I'm trying to remember. I think I have actually met Skaven that I know they were Skaven in the past, or
Yes.
yeah, okay. So I'm gonna maybe sober up a little, get a little pale, and I will do as you ask. Just stick to the original agreement. Any secrets you know must remain secrets.
Maybe, Wolfman, maybe. Depend on how quick you perform task.
Just remember, you're not the only one who knows how to kill. And I'll walk away.
You coward thing! As you walk off, Wolfram. You less than nothing. You is
I took
nothing.
the dagger. I agreed to him. Is he still saying that to me?
Still saying it as you're walking off, Wolfram.
Do I have a pistol on me?
Sure.
I will take a pot shot at him.
A pot shot?
I've walked away a little bit. I'll take a little pot shot at him.
Let's see how bad your pot shot is, Wolfram.
That's pretty bad.
Go ahead and
I'm gonna
roll.
You're gonna give me a good penalty, though.
No, there's no penalties on this. Roll a standard roll, my friend.
Uh-oh. Let's face some consequences. I actually believe that is a miss with the pistol.
A miss.
Yeah, that's a miss with the pistol.
Okay. Were you aiming for him, or are you just aiming in the general direction?
General direction. That's
Okay.
That's still a miss.
All right. So you take the pistol out, you shoot. Now, do you want to re-roll that?
I'm sure I'll use a fortune point. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Here. Let's push the limit here. All right. Oh, that's 5 levels of success.
Okay. How much damage is that normally?
I think that would be 16 wounds. Let me
16.
check, double check real quick.
You pull the pistol and then aim in fury, and boom! And we're going to slide away from you, Wolfram. And we're going to slide on over to Luther. As Luther, you were taken into a room at the palace where you were used by a rather toned woman.
Did I at least catch her name?
You did not, and she never gave you one.
Oh,
Better,
She,
it's better without names.
she promptly returns to her duties afterwards. Maybe get a slap on the ass or something. That's about it.
oh,
as you gather your things and perform the walk of shame out of the palace, going back to the to the expedition. Are you returning to your bed, Luther? Or are you doing anything else?
I think I'd probably excuse me. I think I'd probably head back to the estate. Maybe check on the Mrs. Serena and then go to bed.
Okay.
Probably.
Check in so you go to check on the mistress.
Mm-hmm.
As you normally do.
Yes.
So as soon as you get back, it's very late. You notice that first thing you notice, Luther, is that the Knights Panther are there, drinking, covered in gore. The ones that went missing. You see Commander Hellwig kind of there. It's the first thing you notice, which is a little strange. But you go inside, and you go to look for Mistress Reina's room. The damnedest thing, Luther, the door is currently ajar.
Showing a little bit of concern, I will take my staff and push through the door. Mistress?
You hear a voice call out from within. Luther? Luther, come in. Close the door.
Of course. I come in, I close the door.
You see your mistress standing within the center of the room. There's no fire going, Luther. It's rather very dimly lit, like just coals left in the fireplace. She says, Luther, I thought I wouldn't see you. Glad you returned.
Everything all right, madam?
Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? As she slowly approaches you, Luther.
The fire is usually much warmer, hotter than this.
Yes. And usually I'm wearing my robes. Which she's not.
I suppose we talked about this, about boundaries. And,
she begins to get closer, Luther.
Luther is going to, are you sure you don't want me to do, light the fire?
As you say that, her eyes begin to glow with kind of like a pink light, Luther.
Mistress, Luther's tone is going to change slightly. Your eyes are a different hue of beguiling this evening.
Yes, beguiling indeed, Luther. Luther, it's at this point that you begin to make out some more details of the mistress as she's getting closer.
Uh-huh.
She is, in fact, naked, walking towards you. But as she gets closer and closer, you notice that there are strange little patches of what looks like scales on her stomach, her leg. Where her fingers were missing, there's now like a small little crab claw growing out of her hand.
I will hit my staff on the ground and ignite the fire in the fireplace.
As soon as the fireplace is ignited, you feel, you watch as she kind of shields her eyes for a moment that then blacken, and she lunges for you. As she does, something horrible happens, Luther.
Oh, God.
As a piece of, one might call it a memento that you carry with you, begins to thrum brightly. And pouring out from your chest, a fiery creature erupts from you, Luther, screaming. It engages with your mistress. It begins to burn her and rip her to pieces in front of you as you're just kind of like standing there in awe, just like, ah.
What's happening?
As it's ripping into her, it's like this strange coalition of like fire and like black smoke, almost like death. You've seen this creature once before. It's screamed at you. You've seen it numerous times. You're not exactly sure what it is, but it's something within you, Luther. And as it begins to rip Reyna into pieces, she lies just a smoldering corpse on the ground. You hear a cry from behind you.
Turn around.
Turn around. And you see standing in what is now an open door, Oliver. Heretic! Heresy! Murderer! As he points towards you, Luther.
Yes.
I will tell everyone. You will pay for this, Luther.
Oliver, this is not what it looks like. She was a demon.
I always knew. As he points towards you, Luther, what do you do?
That's not what it looks like.
That's not what it looks like, I swear. Was it really a demonette? Is it really a demonette in front of us? Or is it like smoldering or something?
You'll have to find out at some point.
Oh!
In this moment, you have quick decisions to make.
Yes.
Oliver looks like he's about to run.
Oliver, please! We've had our differences.
I always knew you were. You were so weak you would resort to dark magic. You have sold your soul to the dark gods!
I would never!
And he is sprinting away, Luther.
Break his legs.
So Luther, as you say, stop! It's at this moment, Luther, that you hear something. You hear someone cock a pistol.
At me?
Boom!
Oh.
Oliver's head explodes.
Oh. Oliver!
He falls dead in front of you. Standing at the end of the hall is Wolfram.
Wolfram!
Wolfram, you're not in an alleyway.
What? I'm sorry, I think my headphones went out. I thought you just said I did that.
You're no longer in an alleyway. One might say your tortured visions may have steered you in a strange direction.
Shit.
And currently there is a dead Oliver who was just screaming about heresy coming from what you can see into the open mistress's room, Wolfram, as a scorched and dead, smoldering Mistress Reyna behind Luther.
Wolfram? What are you doing here?
I heard him screaming that he was a heretic, and I came to help you, and out of fear of his dark evil magic, I shot him in the face. Here, let me help you with her. Perhaps she is not dead yet.
I'm having a tough... Easy, Wolfram, please. Is the spirit that projected from me, or the form of fire and smoke, is it still there, or is it gone?
Wolfram, you would see, grasping Luther's shoulder, a shadowy female figure with glowing, fiery eyes.
Do I feel the touch of my shoulder?
You do feel the presence on your shoulder, Luther.
Wolfram, I'm not sure what is about to happen. I may suggest that you walk away and finish your evening elsewhere. I think I have things I need to work out.
You are consorting with demons. Look,
it
is right there beside you. It has its hands upon you.
Wolfram, please, Wolfram.
I must go get the knights.
I know you are excited, Wolfram. As you can see that Luther feels stressed. He is nervous. He's not even sure what's going to happen to him at this point. But he, Wolfram, again, a simple suggestion. Perhaps you take your evening elsewhere. Hopefully, you will have answers in the morning.
I'm going to draw a pistol.
I take the door.
Are you threatening me, Luther?
Wolfer is Luther does not look. Luther looks scared. So Luther is going to be closing the door very slowly. Wolfram,
Do you
I'm not sure.
do you point a pistol at him, Wolfram?
I just yes, I do because
You're
it sounded like
pointing
he
it-
threatened me.
You're gonna point
sounded like
the
he just
pistol at
threatened
him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, don't do this! Don't do this, dude.
What? Wolfram, what are you doing? I'm your compatriot.
There's a
The
demon right next to you. I can see you.
creature
Almost
clinging
holding hands with her.
to Luther's back begins to creep forward, like it's about to spring from Luther's back towards you, Wolfram, as you
Wolfram?
point the pistol towards him.
I am grasping the situation very slowly. But I would suggest perhaps you put the gun down. My companion here, I'm not sure her name, apparently does not like it. Wolfram? Mistress Straina was a demon. And as you see her crumpled form before you,
Oh, that is why they wanted me to kill her with the dagger.
Who? Kill who? Wolfram? Who
Get out of the
wanted you to
way,
kill who?
Luther. Get out of the way, or you'll face this too.
Wait, they're gonna be again? Please.
All right,
Please,
I'll
Wolfram.
tell you what. I'm gonna roll a die,
Okay.
and if it's 1, I'll back away and leave. If it's 2, I'm gonna feel so threatened. I'm going to try and shoot her.
Okay.
Are you gonna
Let's
shoot her or me?
I don't know. I'm going to try and shoot her. I hope
Well-
she's not directly in front of you.
Are you pointing it at me?
I'm pointing in my head. In my head, I'm pointing it at her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, we've already seen what happens here. So if it's even, if it's odd, I'll walk away. If it's even, I'm gonna defend myself against that. Your best friend demon there. Okay. Well,
I don't even know her.
oh, you're in luck. I'm going to. I'm not putting my pistol down, but I'm going to slowly back up, and to get down the hallway to where I'm out of sight.
You
And
begin to back up. As you do, Wolfram, you realize that there was never a dagger. There is no dagger in your hand. You're not even sure what you saw. You're starting to question a lot of things, Wolfram.
You're crazy.
sounds like it.
But on that note, that's what we're going to take our first break.
Ooh.